Hello and welcome to Star Citizen Sunday. This is a weekly show which covers all the news from Star Citizen over the past week. I am your host, Mac, so let's get on with it. This week, we get the latest on the 3.0 development. We have a large giveaway announcement, plus CitizenCon details are getting fleshed out further. Right, I just want to give a quick heads up regarding what is happening this week with myself and Sergeant Gamble on Twitch. With the need to shave our beards off for the Star Citizen head scan at CitizenCon, myself and Gamble, who is a Twitch streamer, are raising funds for Child's Play, which is a charity in which all the money goes to supplying children in hospitals around the world with toys, computer games, gifts, just making their stay a lot more enjoyable and bearable. We're hoping to raise around $2,000 between now and the finish date of the 31st of October, streaming as often as we can while we're in Frankfurt, so doing some in-real live streams as well. On the 27th of October, the day of CitizenCon, we will live stream us shaving our beards off at a German barber's, just so we can prove that we've gone through with it. Now, obviously, all donations are greatly appreciated, and 100% goes directly to Child's Play. The link below will take you to the Child's Play donation page. Be sure to leave a message and your name that you don't mind being called out on stream there as well, just so I know who it is, and I will shout it out on stream when we notice it. If you are unable to donate, don't worry, it is not expected of you. Obviously, sharing the link with friends, telling others, sharing our Twitter posts, and telling as many people as possible is greatly appreciated and helps just as much. Be sure to use the hashtag #ShaveTheChildren on Twitter. That way, we will spread the word much more. So on ATV this week, again starting with the burn down, the must-fix issues total is now at 20. That's 1 blocker, 13 critical, 5 high, and 1 moderate. Now, ATV said there was 25, with 4 blockers, 14 critical, 2 moderate, and I think 5 high as well. But with the transition from Friday to Saturday, they managed to pretty much get rid of a good 5 blockers, which is excellent work. Anyway, this patch will bring us the shopping, the buying, the selling, the kiosk, the UI to the Eva Cotties. It is not in the hands of the PTU, it is just for the Eva Cotties. They have actually removed 3.1 and 3.2 sections from the production schedule report, so could be that they're not bringing them out in that method anymore with this new Delta patcher, but nothing has been said. Anyway, they're adding a second stage afterburner for when people are flying down to the planet's surface. It's taking way too long. They said around 15 to 20 minutes. The same applies for open space too, so the second stage speed is beyond your top speed when travelling in a straight line, and then your ship will sort of ramp up to its speed, which is predetermined velocity, but it's still a lot greater than your afterburner was. But obviously when you try to manoeuvre, your ship will slow down again. Now, a couple of bugs that they've been dealing with this week. The certain cargo types were disappearing in ships. The kiosk UI was looking a little gimped. What they have fixed is interactions with this UI stuff, the doors and the multiplayer crash. So they've fixed a lot, but they also found quite a few. They did actually add 551 updates across the whole 3.0 build. But we're currently standing at 20 must-fix issues. So let's tune back next week and see where they're at then. Anyway, the main focus of ATV was to do with the Legacy Armor update. Now, we know they're working on new armor sets, which will have full modularity, so swapping out legs, chests, arm pieces. But in terms of legacy armors, there was the light, medium, and heavy UEE and outlaw armors. And these were created previously, so the old tech that they used then, it needs to be brought up to the new tech, the new materials, and the methods to how they create these armors now. They had to rebuild them from scratch. The old armors were actually too costly in performance, and they could not be swapped out with individual pieces because they were just one piece of armor. Now, we looked at the outlaws this week on ATV. The light outlaw is quite iconic. The helmet is the most iconic with its glass dome and the red hoods. So they're keeping things like that. That really gives it its distinction. They're adding some cloth to it as well, which looks kind of interesting. And it's currently in high poly. They're also designing an undersuit now for the outlaw, or an outlaw undersuit. They want to add more mixed materials to these armors. So things like fabrics, leathers, knits and weaves, rather than just the standard metals and Kevlar sort of textures. Any undersuit will be able to have armor added over the top. And we actually got to see some of the damage states for the undersuits where we saw them being ripped and torn. It'll look incredible. Anyway, for the medium outlaw, that's also in high poly at the moment. They're moving to game asset and texturing with that soon. But the heavy outlaw is probably one of the most iconic suits that we have seen. I think Chris Roberts referred to them as the Fat Helgast. They've done a complete redesign of this as well. They wanted to maintain the sort of football padding detail, but also include some form of samurai style details as well. So you can see there's kind of a loincloth, not sure how I feel about that, and the helmet has more of a samurai style. It's very layered, and there will be lots of moving parts. But anyway, that was basically the roundup of ATV this week. It is cool to see the work they're doing with the clothing, the armor, the undersuits, and how detailed they are, how we can swap them out for whatever we want. And every time they add a new armor suit, that adds so many more variations that we can use for customizing our own armor for whatever we feel like. Anyway, do let me know what your thoughts are on the armor, as well as the burn down. As I said, 20 must-fix issues before the next patch goes to Eva Cotti. They are burning through it, but it's obviously taking some time. So I just wanted to mention that we have a few giveaways coming up in 2017. Firstly, the winner of the Gladius giveaway from last week was Tiki Snot. Great name there, mate. So congrats to you, sir. I have been in contact and I think you've already received it. Anyway, this week we have an Origin X1 Force giveaway running that is currently ongoing now. Follow the link in the description below to that giveaway. You have 4 days left on that one. Now, after that week, we have a Cutlass Black to give away. And then in December, we have one $50 gift card, 5 P52 Merlins, one Aurora starter package, 2 Mustang starter packages, another Cutlass Black, and a Constellation Taurus to give away. Now, all of these ships have actually been donated to me from fans of my YouTube and my Twitch. And I just cannot thank you guys enough. The support you are helping to grow this channel is just incredible. We also have a starter package giveaway running every month, and this is thanks to my patrons. So again, thank you to everyone who is supporting. And I don't just mean donating ships, I mean being there, present, commenting on my YouTube, talking to me on Twitch, everything. You guys are legendary. Now, I do have a plan for a couple of those ships to be subscriber or patron-only giveaways as a way of saying thank you, so keep your eyes peeled. But as always, thank you so much for the support. And the best way to keep track of these giveaways is to follow me on Twitter and on Discord. All the links to my channels and everything are below, so be sure to hit them up. Oh, and on that note, a big thank you to Akabar and to Star Strider, who became my latest patrons this week. Thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate the support. So, on this week's Happy Hour, they spoke a little bit about CitizenCon, the Bar Citizens, the shipyard, posts we've been seeing on the website, and TwitchCon. Starting with CitizenCon, they say that they're expanding CitizenCon into an actual convention. Chris Roberts will take the stage at 3 PM. There's going to be 5 presentations at 3:30. It is called Empire on the Move, and this is talking about enhancing the mocap data with procedural systems, mainly about animation with Ivo Herzeg, Jason Cole, and Stephen Bender. At 4:30, the presentation is called Beyond the Cutting Edge. This is focusing on graphics and tech development for the Star Engine, featuring Alistair Brown and Sean Tracy, basically talking about the future of the Star Citizen Lumberyard engine, the faceware, and any new tech that is on its way. At 5:30, it is called The Return of the Jarn Language, with Britton Watkins, Dave Haddock, and Josh Herman talking about the update to the Jarn, including their history, their philosophy, and the language, of course. At 6:30, it's called The Corporate Colonies of Stanton. Now, this was the privatized colonization hint they gave us, and it's the art and tech of the Stanton system with Ian Leyland, Pascal Muller, and Michael Cooper talking about making the procedural planets of Stanton. Apparently that's one not to be missed. At 7:30, it's called The Pioneering of the Future, and this is to do with the Consolidated Outland Pioneer, with Paul Jones, Todd Pappy, and John Crew talking about the new game changer that is coming. And then at 9 o'clock, Chris Roberts is giving the CitizenCon keynote. This is what you usually get at Star Citizens, and they were saying that they don't know what's going to happen, or they just can't tell us. So that's going to be the main focus for the evening. Also at CitizenCon, there is one room for Planetary Playground, which is playing a 3.0 build. There'll be 24 stations for people to play. They did say there's going to be a couple of surprises in it, so don't expect the same build from Gamescom. There's a bar to hang out with developers after each of the panels. The atrium features live demonstrations of the new tech, including the FOIP. They're also developing a new FPS weapon live and working on the Solid system live too, so the live stream will show that in between the panels. For the Bar Citizens, there's 2 Bar Citizens happening, one on the day before, which I am going to at the Marriott Hotel, and the other one I'm not going to, and I haven't really checked at where that is, but I'll put a link in the description if you are going, so you can check it out. The Shipyard is being released in 10-part series detailing new revisions to the ship stats matrix, and this holds all the ship stats for every ship in the game, now and then in the future. They're basically explaining each part of the ships, so the thrusters, the weapons, the cargo, the mass, so on and so forth. They're just releasing them every day until they're all out. I will be covering them a bit more in a separate video, I expect. But finally, TwitchCon Star Citizen is having a presence at TwitchCon. They're also participating in 2 panels. The first one is one of Captain Richard's panels, which is the history of sci-fi and space video games. And the second one is how great communities make great games. Anyway, that was the happy hour. Let me know what your thoughts are. I am very excited to get to CitizenCon. Let's move on. So on this week's Ben's Day, this is Batgirl, who has her own YouTube channel, and every week she chats to Ben Lesnick, trying to pull as much information out of him as possible. Anyway, to start with, they spoke about the Pioneer slightly, saying it's not an exploration ship. It does perform a job that no other ship does, so remember that. It's definitely one of the largest ships, and the Pioneer is the only new ship available at CitizenCon. He did say, however, that there will be other exciting stuff on sale for the anniversary sale, but he didn't go into what. Now, in terms of the Karak loan, if you own a Karak, you currently have the Andromeda to play with. You were told that you would get the Aquila. As soon as the Aquila is in 3.0, and well, as soon as 3.0 drops, we know the Aquila is in 3.0. You will have that from then on as a loaner ship. Someone asked if there would be, what are the running costs for ships in the verse. I believe they were really referring to the final idea implementation, but they said that there's nothing in 3.0 that will cause much in running costs other than repairing and refueling. But it's nothing long-term or serious finances, it's all just quick stopgaps to keep your ship floating, so that will be approached maybe a little later. Someone else asked about the trophies for conventions. If you don't know, back in the day, for Gamescom, basically every convention they had, so Gamescom, CitizenCon, they would have little trophies that you could display on your hangar. These were given to subscribers, and anyone else can buy them for about £5 each. They said that they want to focus more on useful items to have and display on your hangar, so things that you can actually have a use for. Maybe there will be a trophy for CitizenCon. He says, don't quote me on this, but I think there is one in the works. But there will be some other stuff available next week, and again, nothing really said there. So we did say that the 2018 ship plan is in the works, so they're trying to figure out what ships to bring for 2018. They are intending to explore the non-combat stuff still. He did mention that a small salvage ship is a definite at some point. He didn't say for 2018, he just said it's definitely needed. And Ben does agree that Drake is a good choice for this, so potentially in the future, nothing stated or slated for 2018, so it could be 2018, it could be a bit later on, but we could see a Drake salvage, a small Drake salvage ship. That would be cool. But there's no solid plans for any new ship companies at the moment. They plan to look more into the current manufacturers and build them up a little better. Anyway, that was Ben's Day. Not a lot of information. He was being a bit quiet and not really giving much away, but I think with such a big event approaching, he has to be very careful. Anyway, thank you as always, Batgirl. Much appreciated. So also this week was Citizens of the Stars, which featured developer Stephen Hosmer and community streamer and soon-to-be beardless streamer Sergeant Gamble. There was a new tracker post titled Chaos in Kiel. I am yet to read that, so please no spoilers. Lawmakers Part 1 took us to the Stanton system. This is most likely timed for the CitizenCon panel focusing on Stanton. The latest Jump Point is available for subscribers. And finally, there is a 10-post series out every day titled The Shipyard. And these posts are focused on explaining more in detail with what's going on with the new ship stats or the ship's matrix, breaking them into segments like ship mass, thrusters, hard points, and cargo, and so on and so forth. Definitely a good read to catch up on the latest of the ship stats, and this will all play in part with the website ship stats page, which tells us everything about all the ships. So that brings us to the end of the show. Thank you so much for watching. A big thank you to the subscribers and the patrons as you make this possible. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, follow me on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram, and I shall see you next time.